some people, football is more than just a game. It's an art form, even when Arsenal play it. We're all artists here at the Alexander, and this week we've invited a couple more down to join the fun. Reid was an inspirational player, most famously for Everton and for England. He went on to become a manager of distinction and a TV pundit, but he's never before been an artist model. Step forward, Paul Karslake, Southend fan, former brother-in-law to Ronnie Wood, and a portrait artist of some distinction amongst the glitterati. He needed a model, and Peter couldn't wait to step forward. He's his muse, and you really shouldn't miss it. Neither should you miss our twin bookie-busting strike force of Tony Gale. Paul didn't have enough paint to do him, and Alan Bentley of Private Line 88, and we didn't have enough cushions to get him in the right place for Paul either. And Reid passes the test straight away, of course, and she's here with the tipping table and all that that entails, and I'm here with the fixtures in what is really the best league of the lot. The spotlight is now fully turned on Arsenal and their beleaguered manager, so Paul Lambert might feel a little lifting of the burden as he seeks to take Villa further clear of the relegation places. Harry Redknapp would love to be in Lambert's shoes, especially as bottom-placed Rangers face a visit from Manchester United. West Brom have lost 4 of their last 6, but Sunderland are looking to avoid a third defeat on the bounce, so I'll leave the lads to call that one. Defeat for City on Sunday will open the manager's office trapdoor a little wider, no matter what Roberto Mancini says. And it'll mean Chelsea move just a point shy of second place. Newcastle and Southampton are both paddling hard to avoid the relegation mire, while West Ham against Spurs is always an enjoyable little dust-up, no matter what's at stake. No time for wit or repartee, we've got to go straight on with the action, and the first action is at lunchtime. It's Fulham against Stoke City, and here with his review of the proceedings, or even his preview of the proceedings, Alan Bentley. Alan.
Well, I think, thankfully, things can only get better, because this is watching the paint dry category, this one. This is going to be a shocker. Can't see there be many goals.
Struggling. That's why you got a lousy intro.
Can't see there be many goals in this one. I don't like Fulham. I like Stoke even worse. 1 win away from home all season. There's better bets to be had. If you wanted to push me, perhaps Stoke at 13-5, but a leave alone one for me.
I'll be sitting on the cushion on this one. No matter. I'm going to go for the draw. Fulham-Stoke. It's not the best way to start the weekend. I'll be off to QPR this weekend, but that's the early game I'll be watching. I'm going to go for the draw, and if anyone can light it up, it's Berbatov. But as usual, it's how Fulham defend the set pieces against Stoke.
All right, Arsenal against Aston Villa. Plenty to look ahead to here, not least because Arsene Wenger, for all he's done, must be in a spot of bother at the moment.
Well, I was at the game against Bayern, Matt, and despite what you say about Arsenal, you know, they were beaten by a team that had better players in it, so you can't have a go at the manager for that. They'll beat Villa this weekend, and I'm crossing my fingers that they do, because he's getting some terrible stick.
I think they'll win as well, but the only thing I would say, no value in picking Arsenal, long odds on. Perhaps draw half-time, Arsenal full-time. Arsenal score most of their goals in the second half, and Villa, who concede for fun, concede most of theirs in the second. So perhaps a bit of value there.
The worrying thing about Arsenal choosing a new manager, Matt, is that they haven't got anyone in charge like David Dean anymore, who made the inspirational choice of Wenger for me. That's the worrying thing. If you take Wenger out the job, who do you get?
So we'll leave that to the Twitterers and the emailers and all that lot, because we can't really answer the problem here. We can look ahead to Queen's Park Rangers against Manchester United, and this one is in the balance.
Not at all, I'm afraid. QPR hopeless, doomed to go down. Harry's magic, if it ever did exist, is well and truly rubbed off. I think this is going to be a walk in the park for Man U. Again, trying to find a bit of value. You can get them on something called the Asian handicap, giving up a goal, which means that as long as Man United win, you can't lose. If they only win by 1, you get your money back. Any other outcome for Manchester United means that you collect. I think it's a walk in the park for them.
Doomed, hopeless, all about to go down. I'd like to take you to Loftus Road at the weekend with me in my commentary position and just walk past the loft, as you've said. No, I agree with him, actually. But I think this is a United win, Matt. They rested all their players against Reading in the FA Cup. The likes of Van Persie and Rooney will return, and I can't see a way out for QPR. I think they've left it too late. And in leaving it late, I think they spent too much money as well, which is going to give them problems in the Championship next season. So Man United win.
Woe, woe, end of the world, all that stuff.
Well, there's more to come. We're talking about Wigan now.
Yeah. Go on then, Reading against Wigan.
Well, you know what I think about Martinez, and again, astonishing. He's now favourite for the Everton job if Moisey does go. I don't like Wigan at all. I think this is the year they go down with QPR. I think they'll go down with Reading too. So this is all doom and gloom in the last 5 minutes or so. How can you call this one? I think Reading marginally, but a leave-alone game?
I'm going to go for an away win because I think Wigan know how to play in these situations. And we're coming to the time of the season where normally something happens with Wigan and he always gets away with it. I agree. I think he may be overrated in the sense of when the big jobs come up, he's always mentioned Martinez, but I think he knows, or he keeps his team playing the same way. That's what's in his favour, and they play decent football. I think Reading will be a little bit harum-scarum. They need all the 3 points this weekend. I'm going to go for a Wigan away win.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Before we close on this thing, I think we've found that you have a problem at the moment. You hate everybody and everything. And I reckon the reason for this is that you're not plumped up enough. And I have a friend here who can bring... Look at that.
Especially for you.
What a cushion.
I know he's been training very hard in the gym this week, so you know this
Can't you
might
tell?
help your muscles. There's a little present.
Thanks, babe.
And we'll shove that in later on, Alan.
Yes.
Well, we're joined now by somebody who won the league, was the Player of the Year, finished 4th in the World Player of the Year behind some bloke called Maradona and 2 others.
Some bad players in them days, weren't there?
There must have been some bad players.
Exactly right.
Let's start, Peter Reid, with Maradona and how you helped him score that second goal.
You just go on about winning leagues, doing that, and then you go on Maradona. Right, do you want to know the story?
I'd love the story again, please.
Glenn Hoddle lost the ball in the middle of the park. Me and Peter Beardsley were chasing back after him. He packed in. I still chased him. He done Butch, which is Terry Butcher. He done Fen, which is Terry Fenwick. He rolls it in with his left foot. Schiltz went down like a sack of spuds. So it was nothing to do with me. There you go.
The only name missing from that sequence is you, but you were about 10 yards behind him, weren't you?
To be fair, he won the bad player. He's the second best player I ever played against, next to the greatest, which was George Best in my opinion. And I played against George Best when I was at Bolton, and I was a young lad, and he was at Fulham, and him and Rodney Marsh were on the booze. It must have been an ear on the booze, and he was still magnificent. Best player ever.
So we're talking about Maradona and the greats, and you did finish 4th. I mean,
yes,
that's not a lie, and you were something of a player, were you not?
I wasn't bad. I had a bad injury when I was about 20. I was out a year with a snapped knee ligament. And believe it or not, I was an attacking midfield player when I was a youngster. I got 9 goals in the promotion year with Bolton. After that, I had to adapt my game a little bit. And but I had a decent career considering, you know, a couple of bad injuries. And I was fortunate enough when I was a young lad to play against the likes of Bobby Moore at the end of his career, you know, Alan Mullery, Alan Ball, Johnny Giles, Billy Brehm, the bestie. So I played against a fantastic, coming to the end of the careers, and then the late 70s and 80s were fantastic.
And so you went from playing to managing, quite a lot of managing you did, with some success too. I mean, is it not something you're considering at the moment?
I left, I was assistant manager of Stoke and then went down to Plymouth, which is a fantastic club, but went into administration. So Leeds had financial problems, and Coventry, and then Plymouth, and there was nothing to do with me, may I add, but they were difficult jobs. If a job come along where it was a chairman who had a plan and a good budget, yeah, I'd go back in. And I loved it. Man City was a young player manager. 35 was a player manager, which you can't do these days. And then they had seven and a half great years at Sunderland. And then we had a year in Thailand as national coach, which is very, very interesting, to say the least.
I want to ask a serious, because you are a pundit now as well as all the other things you've done. As an Everton man, you must be very keen on the manager you have there. Yeah, but it does seem another popular game is picking where David Moyes will go next.
Well, Everton, I'm not sure they get in the top 4. David's done it on a tight budget for over 10 years. Does he still have the desire? That's one, you know, it's been well documented that he's going to hold on till the summer before he decides where he's going to go. So something looks amiss there, and whether David wants to go to fresher pastures, it looks like it could be the end. But he's done a great job, and the season's still alive and kicking for Everton. You know, if they can get a couple of results and get on. That cutting edges in there, Jelavic, who done brilliant last January and come in, is not knocking them in at the moment. I think Everton is suffering through that.
OK, we've done football. Let's talk arts now, because I presume you've never been an artist model before.
Art?
Yes, arts.
I thought you said that.
Are you looking for how you know, because this must be a first, the portrait and the sitting and all that stuff.
By the way, it's not the best. You know, he's got a job on, hasn't he? I just hope he gets the ears in, because he's got a hard job getting them in. But it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how we go. How long have we got to sit still?
4 days.
Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. Yeah, I can do that.
Yes, the art is coming next. Don't miss it. Peter Reid is an artist muse. You've never seen this before.
Welcome back to Off the Bar, and it is great to have another Scouse on the show this week. Don't you agree?
I thought oh no, you're not.
Yeah. Anyway, last week, Tony, you got 1 out of 3, so you were dead wrong, I'm afraid. Alan, you did pretty well last week. You got 2.
The old meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Cool. Wasn't happy with the Barnsley one, but we'll move on from that. What's your top 3 this weekend?
Oddly enough, 3 matches involving 3 of Reid's old clubs. The first one, QPR against Man U. I'm going for Man U on something called the Asian handicap, giving up a goal head start. That means that if Man U win or draw, you win. If they only win by 1, you get your money back. Don't you be laughing.
No, Thailand. I used to be on that all the time.
What's the best?
Correct.
Norwich against Everton, similarly. Norwich getting half a goal head start. I don't like Everton at the moment, so I'm going with Norwich on that one. And then West Brom, Sunderland. Big price, the away win. I think Sunderland can win down at the Hawthorns. 3-1. Treble pays around 17s.
OK, great. Tony?
I'm going a bit against him, Emery. I'm going to Everton away to Norwich. I think Everton can turn Norwich over up there. I think Norwich is struggling a little bit. I'm going to go Man City, Chelsea to draw. You can get decent odds always on a draw. Okay. And the last one, I'm going against my old team, West Ham. I don't like doing it, but my head's ruling my heart. I'm going to go Spurs away to West Ham, and that pays 15-1 for the treble. OK, cheers for that. Reedy?
Well, we haven't compared, have we? We haven't compared before this. No. I've gone for Spurs away win. That West Ham, same as
against your mate.
I know, you'll batter me. But there you go. And he is a big lad, Big Sam. And then I've gone Manchester City and Chelsea. I'll be at that game, a draw. But I've gone for Newcastle to have a home win against the informed Southampton. But it's French Day there, so... Les Stripes.
Les Stripes.
Black and white stripes. You were close. Newcastle to win.
The Zebras.
Okay.
Well, joining me now, Paul Karslake, artist, nervous artist, because I imagine, Paul, you must be feeling a bit like Leonardo did before he sat the Mona Lisa down, because Peter Reid, it must be one of your lifetime goals to get hold of him.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of the things I've been building up to this moment.
You've got a very interesting past, I mean, and family as well. Your sister was married to Ronnie Wood for some time.
Yeah, 30 years.
He and his mate Keith Richards, I mean, they featured quite a lot in your painting.
Well, you know, as an artist, you've got to be a bit commercial. You've got to make money, and they sell. So that's why I do it. The Stones sell in general. I mean, they're not so much a band as a corporation, really. And you do pictures of the Stones, you're going to sell them.
Johnny Depp, did he not spot one of Keith that you'd done?
Well, years ago, I did a picture for Keith's wife of Keith, and she said to me, can you just do a picture of him? And I said, well, how do you want me to paint him? And she said, well, I'll leave it to you. So I painted Keith as a pirate. And then Johnny Depp went to Keith's house for dinner, saw the painting, and based his character on my painting, which was brilliant.
You don't just paint paintings, you paint cars as well.
Cars, yeah.
There's a Bentley I've seen, which looks pretty impressive.
I did a Bentley, that was for the Jubilee celebrations. My wife said do something that people are going to notice, so I painted a Bentley.
You've done footballers before?
Yeah, did. And if they're watching this, it'd be great for them to pick the painting up that they commissioned. Anton and Rio Ferdinand, did a live painting for them. which they've yet to pay for. So we're going to work out some easy terms for them. They're obviously a bit skint at the moment.
Yeah, it is, money is tight in that part. Well,
well,
you've said it now, so I've no doubt the phone will be ringing instantly.
Yeah.
OK, well, Peter's only concern as he sits there waiting for you now is that you'll get his ears in.
I'll definitely get his ears in. I've got a big canvas with me today. So that's definitely happening, yeah.
Paul, good luck.
Thanks very much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just need a bit. That's it. Just there. Thanks.
So it looks a bit enough now. I would say, cheer up, please.
I haven't heard that one for about 10 minutes.
It does, it looks just like Rock Hudson.
Oh, look, listen to her over there now. Guinness in
6 months on a painting.
It was Wembley Stadium.
Neil Ruddock.
Oh, that won't get back.
Is this your first time you've sat for a portrait?
No, every week.
Oh, really? Doing anything nice this
Have a look
weekend?
at his face. Have a look at his face. What do you think? Dear me. Can you just go from the back?
Who does?
And the picture.
Why do you look at me then?
That's it, we're done.
Oh, are we?
Well, Paul applies the finishing touches to perhaps his greatest challenge ever. His muse has nipped over to help us out with the fixtures, and we've had to rearrange the fixtures, Muse, because of all your old teams.
What do you mean all my old
Well,
teams?
there's loads of them in here. Started with Norwich against Everton.
I never played for Norwich. Everton have been playing well but can't finish it off. Like I said before, Jelavic ain't done it. Last January he was great and he's not sticking him in now, so I'm going for the draw there.
See, that's
Score, draw.
It's the wind out of his sails because he normally goes draw, bar, hammer.
Well, he's a Reds, isn't he?
Do you know what, I agree. I mean, Norwich, they haven't won in 8, but I don't think they're that bad. But Everton, as Reid just said, they haven't been finishing teams off. We saw that against Oldham. I was really disappointed in the way they played against Man U, particularly in the first half. You can get, again, on the Asian handicap, Norwich getting half a goal head start, which means Norwich and the draw. So that's the one for me. Reid will go for the draw. I'll go for Norwich on the Asian handicap.
Just for men?
I'm just going to go, yeah, choose. I'm going to look, this is a bit of a grey area, this one. I'm going to go for the away win here. I think Norwich are on a little bit of a slippery slope. I think Pete will have gone for that actually, but he don't want to be the Jonah for Everton.
Correct.
But so I'm going to go for the away win. I can see Norwich just on a little bit of a slippery slope. They're desperate for wins, been struggling in the striking department because they've had a few injuries. And Everton, despite Peter saying not being able to finish it off, I think they will. And the players for me that have got to come to the fore are Pienaar and Osman. When they play well and play their football, and how everyone goes on about Fellaini, it's those two that make it tick for me.
OK, leave Everton to one side, move on to West Brom against Sunderland, something else you know a little bit about.
Right, I'm going to go for Sunderland away win. Just because I was up there last week and I had a bevy with a load of Sunderland fans. No other reason. I'm going for that, and it's a good price. Move on.
Do you know what? I agree with you.
No! How can he agree with me?
I'm not getting carried away with West Brom's win against the mighty Reds. Sunderland have improved. They've got more of a goal threat now. They've got Graham there as well. I think they're a fantastic price at 3 to 1. I really do.
Enthusiasm from the redhead. Carry on.
I'm going to go with the West Brom home win. I think the win against the Reds, OK, was a little bit fortunate, but they had a good start to the season, West Brom, and then tapered off a little bit. Similar, had a few injuries in the striking department. Now they're getting fit again. They ain't a bad side, and I haven't been impressed by Sunderland this season. I know they've turned it around a little bit of late, but for me, it's a West Brom win.
OK. Former player-manager at Manchester City against Chelsea. Do you fancy your chances as player-manager for City this weekend?
I'm going to the game. I can't see a winner in this one. I'm going for a draw again, without sitting on the fence. I can see Chelsea just getting a point, and that's my phone.
That's one of the Sunderland fans.
I want to hold your hand.
Yeah, I know, I recognise that. Yeah, I knew straight away who, but at least you're honest.
I can't believe I haven't turned it off.
No. Well, never mind. It's
well,
probably...
that happens in bars, doesn't it? And it's off again.
Do you think it
Put
might be...
silence.
I think it might be Everton on the line.
Oh, God.
Chelsea, we don't know what we're going to get from Chelsea at the moment. They're one of those, so I'd have to go with a draw with Pete. I'll have to sit on Alan's cushion on this one.
Well, I'm going to go for the away win for reasons similar to the ones you said. I don't like City at the moment. I don't think they've got the balance right. One thing I would say, you've got Benitez thrown into all that as well. I mean, what the heck's going on with him? And he was another one this week. He was somewhat angry in a press conference. It's strange what's going on. I'd love to be in the manager's room after these two meet at the weekend.
So anyway, let's move on to Newcastle United against Southampton. Your thoughts there?
Well, I know Southampton think they've turned the corner. It was a great win. We were talking about it earlier against City, but I think, you know, being at home and there was a little bit of a, you know, a big atmosphere about the game. It was live on the box and they got at City. I think this one's different at Newcastle, who look like they've kind of turned it themselves. And I look at that Newcastle midfield three now, Kabay, Tiote and Sissoko, and that's good for the future for them. That's a very good midfield three. I think it'll be too much for Southampton.
I think it's a tough one to call. I think Southampton have improved. I'm not convinced that Newcastle have turned the corner. Pardew's saying the right things, but then again he always does. I'm not convinced. I think again Southampton have got a chance on the Asian handicap. The draw on the Saints, getting half a goal head start.
At St James's Park, it's French Day. C'est la vie. Is that French? I'm going for the Magpies.
I don't usually bet, but I bet that's the limit of your French.
Oui?
OK, the moment's right. The one that we're all looking forward to, the biggest game of the weekend, of any season really. West Ham United against Tottenham Hotspur. How do you see this going, fellow Hammer?
I'd love to say West Ham, but I mean, Spurs at the moment are pretty destructive, especially on the break. And if West Ham go at them at Upton Park, it's at their peril because they'll just get picked off in the fullback areas where Lennon and Bale are so quick. I fear for West Ham in this one. I think if they've got a chance, it's got to be in the first 20 minutes. Spurs would have had their Europa Cup game, and they've got to get out in 20 minutes and maybe get a start. Other than that, I think it's got to be a Tottenham away win.
Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of West Ham, but I think they might give them an aerial bombardment. No, I'm not.
Or I don't like Liverpool either.
Fair dues, but I think there could be the old aerial bombardment.
I like West Ham.
I don't like the way they play at the moment, it really does. But I think there'll be an aerial bombardment.
I'll tell Sam you're asking about them.
Listen, 12-5, I think they're a bit of value. I think they'll score. We saw against Man U, great delivery in the Cup where they scored 2 against Man U. I think West Ham have got a chance here because I don't think Tottenham will like that sort of aerial bombardment.
Good. Well, it's nice to end on a moral tone. Peter's been very busy this week, as you've spotted. He's been amused, he's been amusing, he's been grilled over a course of a very good interview, I thought, what I'd done, and he's also helped us out with the fixtures. And we'll shortly see how his portrait has turned out. Before that, though, he has one more task, and that's to show Gale up in the Keepy Uppy Stakes.
Oh.
He didn't know.
Come on.
Come on, Pete, let's come and see you painting.
All right, Gale, no trouble. Sorry, Amory.
Sorry, mate.
Stand is here.
That is the. I was going to say the business, but it didn't come out right. I do apologise. No, that's brilliant. Fantastic.